All right. We're back, everyone. It's us, it's me, Clark. It's Matt. We're here with Field Guide.
We're
And
here.
we're gonna try to do a little recap episode of a new piece of content that I know Matt and I are both excited about. I for sure am very excited, and so excited that I invited Matt to do this watch along sort of deal with me. So Matt, I guess I'm gonna throw it to you first off and just ask, what were your expectations going into this new show, The Chair Company with Tim Robinson? And yeah, what were your expectations going in?
So it's this is not Tim Robinson's first. So I was first introduced through I Think You Should Leave, which is like a pure play comedy sketch, cringe comedy, whatever you want to call it. That I watched a few episodes with friends, and then it basically invaded my brain for good. And I think that's kind of a common narrative with, it feels like, at least guys our age, not to be exclusive, but at least, I think for sure. So I knew I Think You Should Leave. I went back and watched a lot of Detroiters, which is like the show that Tim Robinson did before that, with Sam Richardson. Is that the name?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Cool. And then I watched Friendship, which was Tim Robinson's movie that came out earlier this year, or it was like March of 2025 or something. And it was very similar to an I Think You Should Leave skit, but I wouldn't say it was just I Think You Should Leave for like 100 straight minutes. It was like...
No, I agree, yeah.
It was like almost a thrillery, kind of, maybe eerie is a better word. But there was still the I Think You Should Leave type sensibilities, like the way that they talk to each other and the way that the scenes play out. So I was a little bit expecting that for the friendship situation. And I'd say so part of this is I'm watching one episode at a time during this while we do this watch along. Clark has watched more. I don't know. Have you finished or...
I am all caught up, and I'm doing this rewatch with you. I guess with a little bit of perspective, but I'm just basically trying to keep track of all the chaos, because it is absolutely Tim Robinson absurd in all kinds of ways. But just trying to really keep track of plot lines and stuff while you can kind of just take it all in. So I guess I can build off of what you're saying. That was kind of I was like wondering which way I was going to go, because I agree with you. Like, Friendship did have, I Think You Should Leave sort of hints and notes in it, but to me it was like, so much of it was just gut wrenching, and like the plot was a little blurry. It was more just like, what kind of chaos can we throw into here? How uncomfortable can we make you? How like unredeemable can we make Tim Robinson's character? Like, still somehow it works out.
And the Paul Rudd, there was like a foil character, whereas the Chair Company, my understanding was we just have Tim Robinson on the poster,
Yeah, yep. You're right. That's a good note. So that was really what I was like, who is Tim going to play? Is he going to play the similar character that he did in Friendship, and like it's just going to be absolutely brutal the whole time? Or is he going to be like kind of like an I Think You Should Leave, where sometimes, of course, he's the idiot. Sometimes he's the idiot and only the audience thinks he's an idiot. Sometimes he weirdly plays like the straight character and someone else is the idiot. So it's like, let's see where... That's kind of where I was...
It's almost like there's this quadrant and I Think You Should Leave, where it's like, how many people in the scene think he's the idiot is like one row, and then like, is he the idiot or is he the straight man? I don't know if I'm visualizing it perfectly, but it feels like everyone thinks he's the idiot, no one thinks he's the idiot, and then like the difference. And I'm curious, which quadrant. Every skit feels like it's some flavor of that.
Yeah. So I guess, it's a good point to just jump into here. So I think, let's go over the first scene. I think the first scene kind of, upon rewatch, kind of answers all those questions.
Yes.
So... it opens and they're in the restaurant, and
a classic I Think You Should Leave setting.
Sitting around the restaurant. It really is.
Like a nicer restaurant too. Like not like a sit down,
And so, anyways, yeah, Tim Robinson is Ron Trosper. He's a dorky dad, regular family, and they're like taking a family picture, and it drops a bunch of kind of background information. His daughter's getting married, and like, so pretty immediately you're like, okay, he's somewhat of a regular guy. Like his family seems to like him and respect him. It's not like he's this dorky dad that they're just like don't want anything to do with. And like his wife is praising him about his new job, or his new promotion or whatnot, and then he like does a super Tim Robinson, like interrupts her and like makes an idiot of himself. And then immediately they like, you can tell the family doesn't acknowledge that he's an idiot. Like he makes a fool of himself, but they just kind of roll with it. And then so that kind of establishes that sort of dynamic, and then furthermore, like. Then the waitress comes up and starts like flirting with his son, and then the son takes a chance to like brag about Tim. Like he immediately is like, "Hey, do you know this about malls or whatever?" And kind of bragging about his dad, who we know is malls. Just Tim. Yeah, like he's actually the project manager. Yeah, so establishes his job, and then obviously he has the back and forth with the waitress, which is kind of classic. I think you should leave sort of awkward humor. So yeah, I like the first scene because it really was like, okay, it sets the stage a bit. Like here's what we got. That's the Tim we're getting. And then obviously like the cutaway after the first scene is probably the most memed thing from episode 1, where he's like, I've got the worst pillow in town. Like just out of nowhere, out of the blue. Like, yeah. Yeah. Out of nowhere, out of the blue. It's all over Twitter. So like you kind of got everything. Boom. Right there in the first scene. So,
I think it brings up. I think it does. You get the feel. One of my questions watching was, because I think this was one of HBO's like more successful. I think they classified as a comedy premieres in a while, which was really exciting because I think I saw it's renewed for the second season, and we'll get more of Tim Robinson and all that kind of stuff. I'm curious when the majority of people. Well, actually, I'm curious at the very top level. Were the majority of people watching this Tim Robinson fans, or the majority of people watching this HBO people who just like the average HBO Max person who had little to no context?
Clicking on it, got force-fed the stuff, and they're like, oh, a new comedy series.
Right.
Because, then it may be a complete, like, oh, I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, if they're really into, if they've watched like The Office or something, it's not completely divorced from that,
right?
But it is a little screwier than that,
right?
So I'd be curious to see when like on like YouTube videos you can like see when people like stop watching, like it has like the graph. I'm curious, like I'd be curious what scene that was for people. Yeah. The retention, yeah exactly.
Yeah. What pushed them away, or what? What were they pausing and like, okay, I can't watch this right now.
Yeah, what is going on? Because I was in theaters for Friendship, which was nice. Well, it was cool. It was really cool experience because it didn't show super widely where I live, and the theater I went to was like packed. I think mostly just as a function of like supply and demand. And I was telling my friends after, they are not necessarily Tim Robinson people, but they were very down to go. And it was one of those things like you could tell in the theater who was Tim Robinson in person and who was not, because he'd like have these like random little faces and like fit like around the theater. People would be laughing even though it wasn't necessarily like a laugh moment. It was just like a he's doing something on screen moment. And I just am really curious about that with the Chair Company, because this is on HBO. You don't have to see. That's the thing about streaming. You don't have to go seek it out. Really, it's kind of given to you on your TV. So I'm really curious about that. But I think the first scene it baptizes you immediately.
Right. Yeah. I haven't honestly looked too much into how much this is appealing to the masses. Like I haven't looked into ratings or anything, but I'm really enjoying it. So that's all that matters to me.
Fair. Yes. Same.
Okay, so as we keep kicking here, he goes into work. We get introduced to a few more characters. I think notably, like two, as you mentioned, we kind of get two foils right off the bat. So one of them is the older gentleman, Douglas, who kind of reveals like, hey, I was supposed to get your promotion, but now I'm, he says happy to be part of the team or whatever, but you can tell he's gonna raise some hell. And then
a classic corporate
yep.
jargon. I was happy.
Yep.
I wanted your promotion. That we're always saying that to each other in the workplace.
Yeah, and it would always go over well. But again, another thing I noted is like, okay, he's like respected by his team, and I guess like somewhat capable as a manager. You know, he got this promotion and whatnot, but you can already tell like, okay, he's a dope, but somehow
he can plan a mall.
Yeah, somehow this is
he can plan a mean naturalistic mall that blends in, so you don't actually know you've gone to that mall.
Yeah, right. You can't really tell. It's the way the parking lot wraps around. No, but okay, and then we get into his speech, which again to me was like, so I think you should leave in a way that like, it's so it makes it funny and believable and bad in a way that no one else really does. Like, he's just like spouting off all these like platitudes, and it's like somewhat believable. Like, okay, you could see a dorky dude going up there and like thinking he's shredding, and like actually just saying really nothing, and the crowd claps and whatnot, and they support. But he's really just saying all. It like gave me such like the Friday night, like when he's singing that song, and like the song is just like, oh, it's just off enough, and like the rhythm is just off enough and stuff. So that jumped out to me.
I was reminded of the show Silicon Valley. There's a lot of these kind of situations where someone is doing, you know, it's a corporate satire, specifically satirizing Silicon Valley and like tech bros and the early tech startup world and all that kind of stuff. The only like there's a lot of these scenes where there's like someone at like an expo and they're giving their presentation. The only difference is it's a little bit more like pointed, like they're making a point that like a lot of tech bro language is fluffy.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily satirizing like mall planners. You know what I mean? Like it's not meant for you to be like, oh, mall planners are dopey. It's just like it's hard to even
really
put
hard
words.
to put your I agree. It's really hard to put your finger on like what exactly is he making fun of. I think it's just like human just general human interactions or human like the way people give speeches or like leaning into some sort of awkwardness there. But I love it so much. That's why I think
I say it's kind of not that dissimilar from The Office, because The Office is just it's not even making fun necessarily. It's just like poking fun, making some comedy about the Office, which is like the most normal, weird thing we do as humans. Yeah. And Tim Robinson basically does that, but does it just like a little further, where it's not. It's a little more screwball. I'm sure people more learned about this media kind of stuff than us have better words for it, but that's the best I can say it. I'm right. We are not well versed in deep diving, but it definitely stands out to me across all his work. Like, that is something that jumps out to me that he does somehow better than other comedies. But okay, so after he gives the speech, we get, I guess, like really the plot establishing moment where he falls in his chair. He sits back down. You're not even, of course, you're not expecting anything. Chair explodes. The chair
he
breaks.
Falls down. Chair breaks. He falls down, and then like, also you get this like little glimpse into like very I think you should leave-esque, where he has like the awkward like upskirt moment with his coworker, and you're like, okay, wait, I was not expecting that. So that's funny to me how he like, there's the big moment, but then he like softens it or something, or like introduces like, I don't know, throws another left hook where you're like, oh, then there's another weird unexpected moment. So those are so that's big plot points. He falls, everyone is gasps, and then he kind of stands up and awkwardly saves it, makes a weird joke or whatever. But
he had the audience hooked. I mean, they were watching his every move. Like,
and then he nailed it. I think he said like, shouldn't have had that last cheese or whatever. Yeah,
the reaction I thought was a little muted for how focused they were on him. I thought that was, I wouldn't come up with that in the moment.
No, he nailed it. But then then the tension with the CEO is like obviously there. Like the CEO is like, oh, this guy's a dork. I'm Rico Suave. He's like, Ron, can we continue? So that tension's established. And then another, like, he gets back to his office, kind of crashes out about the awkwardness of the whole moment. And then I think, like, the most gut-wrenching moment of the whole episode to me is, like, making the eye contact through the desk with his assistant. Like, he's hiding there. His assistant comes in after him, and they make eye contact through the little hole in the desk. Oh, it's brutal. It's brutal.
Like, where the cables, like, feed through the desk? Yeah.
Yeah, and they make eye contact. She ignores him, you know. I guess
surely
she's nice
he had to have done that before. I mean, he went
right.
That's his comfort place. So, like,
yeah, right. Yeah, that
this can't be the first
can tell
time
that's his spot. He ran there. That is where he's had many a crash out, panic attack.
Maybe when someone else got the promotion in front of him in the
right,
past.
Yeah.
This is where he goes.
So then moving on, let's see. So he
I want to ask you. So
sure.
My feeling at this point, like when I'm at this point in the episode, I don't have any eerie or thriller vibes. I even in Friendship, we didn't really get much plot. I mean, the plot is really just like him meeting Paul Rudd and them meeting multiple times in different situations.
Yep.
Not to say that him breaking a chair is a huge, massive plot point.
Yeah.
Like if you wrote that on a script, you'd just be like, why is this even in the plot? But obviously for this show it is. But, and of course you note it because the show is called The Chair Company and you know that he doesn't work for a chair company. So I was starting to like be like, oh, you know, note some of these things that are happening because this is meant to be part of it. But I was still kind of thinking this is just an elongated skit. I had not kind of started to pick up on the fact that there might be some sort of mystery here. Was that similar for you, or were you a little earlier to that?
I think so it's hard to think back to the first time I watched it, but I agree. It was like,
sure.
I honestly, going into it, kind of thought he was maybe working for the chair company, and like, because they tease it a little bit, him uncovering some sort of elaborate conspiracy. I kind of was just assuming it was within his own company or something. I hadn't really picked up on it, but again, like you said, is like, okay, this is going to be all about this moment somehow. You know, this is kind of starting the the name of the show plot wise,
right? Which that's not. Even a lot of the skits are similar to that, where it's one thing happens and that thing becomes the most important thing to that character's life for the next 6 minutes. So like,
right.
We've done that before.
But yeah, so that happens, and then he crashes out. But then another important thing that happens is he lies to his wife about it. Like, she texts him, he says, "Oh, it went great." Like, so you can tell he's obsessed about this thing, but also like he's gonna try and just keep it in and stay cool. Same thing with like the next morning at work. That, you know, the people are kind of like tiptoeing around it, and then finally he kind of like smooths it over, says that, "Oh, me and my wife, we laughed about it, blah blah blah." He kind of saves the morale and whatnot. So like he's very obviously.
And then they start piling on.
Yeah.
They're like, we can make fun of him about that.
Exactly. And then of course he switches his tone a little bit. He's like, "Well, someone could have got hurt," and then so that becomes his new thing. Is like, okay, how do I make this more of a serious thing? Now that we're laughing about it, it's like, okay, guys, like, people could have got hurt here. Like, this
specifically the girl or the lady with the bad hip, I forget her name.
Yep.
That he tried to walk past at the start. Which I will note, in Detroiters, he also has a elderly lady as a office assistant or office administrator, which just noted. Maybe Tim Robinson, his first job, there was an old elderly lady who managed the office, and he's like, "I'm using you."
That's my lifelong enemy.
That's my muse. Yeah.
So yeah, he has the moment with Doris where he's like, okay, if I can somehow show whatever. Oh yeah, he calls Tekka and he's like, if I can somehow prove that there's someone in danger of these chairs, so then he has the plot to try and get a video of Doris walking or something. It's a little unclear. Douglas foils the plan. He starts flirting with her. Ron freaks out. It's another weird moment in the office. Blah blah blah.
He's trying to get them to go get snacks so he can. Yeah, he can.
That's
get
right.
her
Yeah, go get the snacks. No, go get better snacks.
Yeah. Which granola is. I was with it, Ron, on that.
Right?
Have you ever thought
I'm not standing up out
snacks
of my desk. Yeah.
to get a? What are you gonna? Do you eat it with a spoon? Do you pick it? Do you get a cup of it? That was a miss.
That was
honestly cookies was kind of a miss too. I mean cookies are much better.
Right. Yeah. It's
I also.
It's a bit just a tiny step up from granola. Like you're gonna need a big leap.
She probably got oatmeal raisin cookies anyway, so I just I was with him on that.
But so he calls Tekka, leaves the voicemail, or is talking to the robot. I forget exactly who, but you can tell the language he's using from the other end of the line jumped out to me as like, okay, he's talking about this thing that happened to him, but like it's not as big of a deal as he's making it sound. Like he's talking about this thing could have mass casualties. This could mean whatever on a large scale. I want to talk to someone who's willing to do something on a large scale. So yeah, if you're the person on the other end of the line, and perhaps about whatever other large plot point is going on, like of course you're going to be like, this guy knows, this guy's somehow on to us. So yeah, fast forward, we're back at home, and a little thing that jumped out to me was like the physical comedy of him like chopping up the vegetables like all loud, like all loud and unnecessarily. Like
I was getting a little anxious watching him do it, because he definitely you're supposed to put the knuckles in the front, so when you're chopping, he was holding it, thumb fully ready to get snipped, fingers ready to be demolished. But his family does notice that, so we are supposed to be like, this is not a weird Tim Robinson thing that everybody else thinks is normal. This is in the show's
hey, quiet
narrative.
In there.
He's a little upset. So this is when I started to get a feel for like, we're past like just a skit, things are weird for the joke, and we're into like, things are weird because there's something here. This is kind of when my switches started to flip for that.
He's upset. He's chopping furiously, and then he kind of sneaks off to his office, and he's like, he's obviously stewing over it. So he's like, all right, I got to find out about this Tekka. Talks with the chatbot, gets the email, sends the strongly worded email, but then it gets bounced back. And that's kind of the other meme moment that's gone around Twitter. It was like the face he makes after the email gets bounced back.
That was the best laugh I got in the premiere.
Yep. So another nice meme there, and I think you can tell they know I Think You Should Leave. That's one of the successful things they did, is like it's just very memeable. Like there's a lot of great still images you can pull from it, tweet with it with whatever caption. Like they wanted to keep the
GIF world,
so that they're doing good with that. Okay, so moving next day at work, again is still obsessed with it. Let's fast forward to he's back in his office late at night, and he's like, he's going through the pictures because of his daughter's upcoming rehearsal, right?
Yeah, he's making a slideshow.
He's making a slideshow, and you can just like, oh, this guy's like a little more complex than we think. Like he's like a sweet dad. Like he's getting emotional looking at all these pictures of his daughter. He writes that, looks up sad wedding song or whatever on YouTube and writes that corny comment, like whatever. I think it's the name of the episode, right? Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Life goes by too effing fast. It really does.
It's a good.
So that's.
I have always wondered who are the people behind these comments, because if you go to any music video on YouTube, legions of comments,
right,
saying any number of things, and now we have a face behind
comment. Yeah, it's guys like this.
So that's wonderful.
Who we love. But as he's going through pictures, he finds the one from The Office. What two things obviously stand out. One of them, Douglas is glaring at him, like, okay, Douglas has a vendetta against this guy, so we are made to know that. And then obviously zooms in on the chair, and there's an address. So
very CSI. Zoom in.
Yep.
Somehow you can see the address. Yep.
Yep. So he right. So he's like, you know what? Let's go there. It must be late at night, right? Like, so he's like, all right, we're going there. Um, takes off, takes out of his office, takes a bite of an egg. You know, for whatever reason, this dude's obsessed with eggs, and it's hilarious. Like, for you can point to any number of skits. There's something about an egg. I don't know what it is, but it is funny. So he takes a bite of an egg, goes to the warehouse, is scrounging around, uncovers the massive big red ball, weirdness.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure you have more answers to that question.
yep.
Definitely
It's
just a
obviously
question
mystery.
for me still.
It's
Yeah.
obviously a mystery. Uncovers there's a big red ball in this warehouse address that is supposedly attached to Tekka chairs. But then suddenly, that egg, causes a disturbance in his bowels. Has to hit the bathroom. Goes to the bathroom as
We've been
he's
there.
Yep. As he's in there, someone is in the bathroom and screams. He wads up a bunch of toilet paper, puts it in his pants, and then he takes off. And then it's daylight, so it must have been really late at night, early in the morning. He goes straight to work. Has the day at work. Another kind of probably to me one of the funnier moments is he gets to work and all he does is just take the wad of toilet paper out of his pants and
That was awful.
put it in the toilet and flush. It's like, oh, what a disgusting guy.
That's
But
always such a
then,
funny thing
yeah.
to me in movies or just media when it's like they do the late at night straight cut to brightness, and I feel like I always notice it, and then I don't know if I just watched a movie last night called Sentimental Value. It's like just in theaters, and they had a similar cut where they were at, this is an early thing in the movie, so it's not like a huge spoiler. They were at like a film festival in the movie, and it's dark, and they go and hang out on the beach, and then we have a straight cut to those same people still hanging out on the beach, and it's
Yeah.
like early in the morning, and like
Yeah.
I understand
That's
that, like,
a lot of hours that were
yes,
made to
I understand
just-
that
yeah.
sometimes you have your whatever substances
We
get
all know,
involved,
yeah.
whatever, you just like you stay up, like. But it was not played for that at all. It was played for just
Right.
like, nope, now it's the morning.
You're
And-
laughing, boom, it's morning.
exactly. And I was like, it always feels strange to me. It didn't feel that out of place just because the whole show obviously feels strange
Yeah.
here. But I do always think it's a funny choice.
Yeah, it's certainly some time skipped over somehow some events that
Sure.
are taking up
He
that
was-
time that
The egg was really
should be
doing
important.
work, hour
Yeah,
long
right. He was
session.
battling for hours in there. But yeah, so the next day at work also like introduces sort of like the tension of, is Ron gonna like pursue this thing? Because he skips out, he misses some sort of deadline at work. Becca kind of calls him in and basically scolds him. He's like, hey, she goes, well, I vouch for you to what's his face, the CEO. Like, are you able to do this? And
Suave.
he kind of locks in, Rico Suave, and he kind of locks in and basically is like, nope, like I can do this. He's walking back to his desk. He like deletes all the pictures he took from the warehouse. Kind of shows like, all right, for right now, he is putting this thing aside.
You even get like a happy music note. Like it's kind of like
Right. It's like, okay,
everything's
this is how we're
telling
ending.
us.
Yeah, this is how we're ending episode 1. Like, he's decided not to pursue this thing. Like, it'll turn back up later. And then, kind of classic Tim Robinson fashion is like the 1-2 punch. He's walking back, happy music, walking to his car at the end of the day, and someone's chasing him. And obviously beats him over the head with a pipe, tells him to stop looking into the company. He he gets knocked out, and then again with like the 1-2 jump scare. Like now you're like, okay, that's how this episode is going to end. He's going to wake up in the parking lot, episode 2, but nope. Like he, like 5 seconds later, he wakes up, and then he starts chasing. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, yeah, you're like, okay, teasing the cliffhangers back to back to back. It's kind of funny. How it really ends is Ron chases him down, gets him by the shirt, but the guy unbuttons his shirt. Ron's left with the shirt. That's how we're
I can't
left
believe I've
with-
never seen that move before. I mean, that
yeah,
was
it's like, which to me is probably more realistic. Like, rarely are, I don't know. I haven't been in many fights in my day, but
Sure.
when you get knocked out, I doubt you're knocked out hours. Like, I'm sure plenty of times you get socked up, the lights go out for a second, and then you're probably like, what just happened?
Sure.
Probably in time to wake up and see the guy running away 50 feet from you.
And running slowly, I might add.
Yeah, slowly. Yeah, definitely. In a way that you could probably chase him down.
And then the unbuttoning of the shirt, I mean, is why aren't we all
tactical.
wearing short sleeve button downs?
Yeah,
and then,
so tactical.
And if we ever need to get out of there, I don't know.
Yep, scotch free. So that was episode 1. I mean, I think it pretty well like lays out. To me, immediately you're like, there's a plot to this, which I'm intrigued for. There's a mystery to this. Ron is like, he's invested. He's pulled right back in immediately after he decides kind of internally, I'm going to focus on this thing at work, but hey, I've uncovered something here. Someone's after me. Gets me excited.
I'm also extremely excited. I think I texted Clark like I need to record this so I can unlock episode 2 ASAP.
Yeah.
They always say like in the media world that like comedic actors are sometimes very equipped to do more serious roles because the skills that require to do comedy is like an understanding of how to speak with how to interact with other people and like timing and all this kind of stuff. All these skills that are really good that carry over to dramatic acting if you apply them differently. This is obviously still very comedic, but you can tell the craft of the filmmaking is there enough, and like it is a very compelling like thriller. Like I already want to know more. A lot of the shots, like the first shot of him walking out of his company and the guy chasing him from behind is like a good like if I saw that in a horror movie I'd be like that fits right in. Even there's obviously the comedic part of him on the toilet in the warehouse, but like the guy screaming, like it was both weird and funny but also scary, like so I was thinking about that. Like, it's clear that the people making this, like, we're in good hands with the people making this. I don't know if it's the whole team that does all his other stuff, but the directing, editing, music choices, like all of that, it just looks.
Yep, it's completely watchable.
You can tell we're in good hands.
Believable. It's not. There's nothing retracting from the dramatic thrill element of this, like maybe some other comedic shows, but.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like, this comedic guy is like trying to do this. It feels like you just picked up his weirdness and put it in a well-made HBO show, which I think is a really like weird hook, but a really fun hook.
Such a hard line to toe too, but I think so far he's doing really well. And the thing that I think jumps out to me is like it's almost like we're getting this crazy world that he builds in these I Think You Should Leave skits. And every little like random thing he decides to put in the skit is kind of just blown up into like a plot line, which is kind of fun. Like, I mean, there are a few other examples that I kind of breezed over, but like there's callbacks several times to the little moments he puts in there. Like his coworker with the upskirt comes into his office and is like, "Hey, I decided I'm gonna raise this up to HR." Like, so it's like, okay, that's not going away. Purpose. Yeah, so it's like, okay, that's not going away. The wheelbarrow guy that he kind of accidentally uncovers, and so he sees him again. It's like, it's funny.
And he's outside with the wheelbarrow.
Yeah, he's like, his indoor only wheelbarrow you can see. He lied, it is outside.
I've been there. My indoor only wheelbarrow, it's not fully clean. So
nope, right, yep. But so that's to not spoil too much. That is definitely a theme that I've seen. Is like the show feels like a contained skit, and it's like he's throwing these absurd things at you, and yet they're all somehow end up being part of the plot, which I think is like really fun and keeps you on your toes. Like, okay, is this a weird dumb thing he threw at me, or like should I remember that? And I think that's honestly what made me want to go back and like see what more I uncovered just by paying a little more careful attention. But that's episode 1. That's episode 1.
Awesome.
Excited to do more.
We're both going on Thanksgiving stuff for the next bit, but I'm definitely going to watch episode 2.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're driving to Illinois. We're doing a long road trip, so maybe I'll watch it on I'll watch it ASAP. I'm very excited. And
I think watch it while you're
do this again.
you're hyped up on it, and while you got some things to look out for, and then we'll get back together and we'll debrief episode 2.
I love it. I'm excited.
Me too.
Awesome.
Thanks for listening along, guys, and we'll catch you for episode 2. Let us know what you thought of episode 1 down in the comments, and see you next time.